Summoning wind and rain, travelling through heaven and hell, casting magic spells. These things seem only to exist in novels and tales. But in reality, even in our modern time, real Taoists do have the ability to perform these magical arts to help others. Today we are honoured to present part 1 of the 2-part series featuring a legendary Taoist of our time, Taoist Hu, from the Kunlun School of Taoism in Formosa or Taiwan, who is also our association member practicing the Kuan Yin method. Taoist Hu was born into an extraordinary family. His father and grandfather were both famous Taoists. They were experts in feng shui or geomancy, and in drawing mystic symbols and reciting mantras in order to dispel negative spirits. Hu was given the Taoist training since he was very young. His heavenly eye was opened at that time, thus enabling him to see the invisible worlds and communicate with invisible beings. In 1940, when Patriarch Liu Peizong of the Kunlun School in Taoism came to Formosa from mainland China, Hu was among the first group of several dozen disciples. He was only 19 years old then. Master Liu was an expert in astrology, geomancy, martial arts, Taoist sorcery, medicine, and a special method of foretelling. He was compassionate and helped all people regardless of their social status. He also trained his disciples very strictly. When Taoist Hu was still 19 years old, Master Liu once foretold his disciples about the coming of an extraordinary female master. He said that they may learn from that female master if they have affinity with her, and recited a riddle-like poem. Taoist Hu followed and studied with Master Liu for about a year. He was then sent out to establish a new temple and help those in need with the Taoist skills he had learned. His modest Minhu temple was built on a mountain overlooking the Minhu lake that flows with crystal clear water. At that time, the Taoists as well as other villagers used to catch fish in the lake to earn a living. However, one afternoon when he was resting at home, the Manjusri Bodhisattva suddenly appeared and told him to give up fishing. However, the Taoist didn't believe it because his eyes were in perfect condition.
我这这掠鱼啊！我讲我目睭都无啥看伊，我叫无啥林秘书看，林秘书诶有一上甲讲，你目睭也无安怎，唔知要摕啥物药啊？我就无，都根本无看啊！我就甲阮某讲，我看来去蔡眼科啊，保你去蔡眼科讲，我就去甲地讲，我目睭他拢无啥看。伊用个药水甲我洗洗讲，我要摕3工药，我讲唔啊！啊你也无安怎摕啥物药啊？我是心内知影啦，知影讲这做业障，所以从伊就讲无安怎，我就转来。
When Taoist Hu returned home, he prayed to the deities worshipped in the Taoist temple to restore the vision to his eyes, and he would consider giving up fishing.
迄人要困，我就甲阮某讲，来，我袂晓写字啦，你甲我写写，我念无你写，写啲符啊像，你香落甲烧落。我若时间到，袂使掠鱼啊！哦，你下南显让我看，我真是命的。我就写写，即摆烧落，甲讲，你时间到啊，爱收复的。
Taoist Hu then burned his fishing equipment and ended his fishing career.
为我像时间结束。拍人我嘛要去拍。
Taoist Hu had a strong sense of justice since he was young, and helped out anyone being treated unfairly. Once, a friend of a friend asked the Taoist to inspect the grave of his father. The reason was that soon after the cremated ashes of his friend's father had been buried, something disturbing started to happen in his family. He had consulted a very famous geomancer. However, even after reburial, the mishaps in the family still continued. Arriving at the burial place, the Taoist took a look and said, Sure enough, upon opening the urn, it was full of ants. Taoist Hu then explained that when the deceased father was alive, during his marriage, he had an affair with a woman. She had 2 children. The husband and wife's actions toward the woman caused her to feel bitterly wronged.
就伊太太到尾也带到迄2个囡仔跳海自杀，到今仔日伊的阴魂都还阁怨气未消啦。恁厝的财产是对倒来，嘛是对迄个查某的身上得到的啊。迄当时讲要共带入门，结果咧钱一得到了，就一卡人踢走。你嘛知影这样代志啊？让迄个查某伫咧人财两失的情形之下，心肝硬，才来跳海自尽啊。所以。 阴魂才会甲你定条条啊！啊，你迄2个兄弟唔才会起笑。
When Taoist Hu revealed this explanation, the friend's mother denied it at first, but finally admitted it.
即摆我知影我唔对啊，我应该安怎做嘞？
你一定要行善，发慈悲心，食素食，安尼才会当弥补这段过错，化解这段恩怨。
The mother listened to Taoist Hu, and her sons recovered soon after. In this manner, Taoist Hu helped many people to solve all kinds of problems. After Master Lu passed away, Taoist Hu tried to find other enlightened masters to advance in spiritual practice. He had visited over 20 teachers, and each time he returned disappointed. Finally, he decided not to waste any more money and energy searching. He retreated into the mountains. After 15 years of practice, one afternoon when Taoist Hu was meditating in his temple facing east, he suddenly saw a sun appear in the east. How strange, he thought. The sun should be in the west at this hour. Why is there another sun in the east? Even more astoundingly, myriad rays of brilliant light emanated out of this large sun, and from each ray of light there appeared a Buddha or enlightened being. The appearance of these Buddhas in the center of the sun kept changing and transforming into other Buddhas. He kept watching the transforming Buddhas in the center of the sun, and then 2 words appeared, Qinghai. The sun continued to emanate brilliant golden light, and the images of the Buddhas in the center continued to change. Finally, an image of an enlightened being sitting appeared. Although he had never met her or heard of her, he sincerely asked this transcendental image to let him know where she had come from and which Buddha she was. She told him that she would come to visit him in 3 days. He was very puzzled, since he was always in retreat in the mountains and seldom ventured into the outside world. He could not imagine how this master, who had never seen him before, would be able to find him. But as it turned out, on the 3rd day, Supreme Master Qinghai and a few disciples came to the village and visited Taoist Hu. As she arrived at the remote small temple, Taoist Hu welcomed Supreme Master Qinghai by beating the big drum and ringing the big temple bell in a gesture of highest respect. The meeting marked the beginning of a strong renewed affinity and many remarkable supernatural events for Taoist Hu. When Taoist Hu visited the Shihu Center, he also received initiation into the Kuan Yin method. At the initiation session, when he was sitting with others waiting for Supreme Master Qinghai to arrive, he closed his eyes and meditated. Suddenly he had a vision of a scene that made him shed agonized tears. In the vision, he saw the debtors of the new initiates appear to collect what was owed to them, according to the law of karma. He also saw Supreme Master Qinghai's transcendental form, giving people initiation, and paying off their bad bitter karma for them. During a 1991 lecture at Harvard University in the United States, Supreme Master Qinghai explained the suffering and sacrifice of true masters for humankind.
Because whenever a living master is on earth, the master takes on some of the karma of the people, especially those who believe in the master, and especially those who are disciples of the master. And their karma has to be worked out. Therefore, the master suffers for the disciples and for mankind at large.
Kind-hearted viewers, we enjoyed your presence today. Coming up next is our noble lineage after noteworthy news here on Supreme Master Television. May your days be filled with divine love and light.
For more details, please visit www.suprememastertv.com/AJAR.